Right, week commencing 2nd of August 2021, of course, Monday. So yeah, planned a full 5-day week this week. I haven't got my fuel prices on me, they're in a book back in the van, so I'll put them on the screen as I'm doing this. But the Shell card I get through UK Fuels is the cheapest this week. Any chances anyone guess where I am? I'll tell you in a moment, see if you can guess. There you go. Anyway, yeah, so I started late-ish this morning, 9:30, which isn't too bad because I had a few things to sort out this morning before I got on a run. Got a job at 10ish. It wasn't far from me, Tipton, it's about 6 miles. The job was 186 miles. I went long wheelbase, I went in at 178. That was 6 miles from it, so 192 miles for 178 quid. For reasonable chance I'm going to get that because where I am now, Portland. So this is I'm on Portland now, and that's like obviously the harbour behind me, and that's looking east down the coast. Absolutely stunning views up here. If we go behind that way, you can see down there there's a prison there, and then just around the corner that way, I've just been for an explore. There's a crazy looking prison. It says on it, you can see on the thing, built 1880s. But apparently it was originally a citadel, so it was built, this is a big naval defence in like the 1800s, and they're worried about the French and Spanish attacking and stuff. Yeah, so but it's been converted to a prison. I was speaking to some guy, and he was told by the locals apparently it's where they put all the pedos. Now it's a pedo prison, which isn't very nice. But anyway, he was saying he had to burn the place, but it's built. It's lots of it's underground. It's a crazy looking place. Anyway, yeah, so got this job. Bit of a funny one. A shipper phones me, says I'll ring you back in a sec. Just need to confirm something. And they were a bit concerned whether the load would fit, so we asked how long my van was. Told them that. Came back to me, says, oh yeah, it's a goer. But have you got straps? They're like trolleys with something on top. Bit of an odd load, this one. I'll put it on screen. I don't normally do this, but have a look at this. Yeah, so these like chunky aluminium molds, I think they were. Looked like they'd been machined out of a solid block of aluminium, so they would have been pricey to manufacture. And they were just on like steel frames on wheels, and there's 4 of them. So I had to put 3 long lengthways against a bulkhead, or if you know what I mean, and then 1 across at the end, and held it in with a strap, and covered them in removal blankets because they were freshly painted frames. I've got blue paint all over my gloves, it's that fresh, and all of it a little bit. Anyway, yeah, got loaded. It was showing 4.25 hours down here, but it turned out to be more like a 5-hour drive, so it's reminded me a bit of Friday last week. They didn't get tipped down here until just gone 4, maybe 20 past 4. And it delivered to some sort of defence sort of company. So he wouldn't tell me what they were for. I did kind of ask, but yeah, I think they were for molds for making carbon fibre, something parts for some project they must be doing here. Yeah, so tipped that, and as I was tipping, I had to wait a little while while they opened this gate and stuff. I saw a job ping up from Poole, small van job to Coventry in the morning, picking up at 8. So I worked it out at 85 pence a mile all the way through, and that would have been over £1 a mile loaded miles. So I thought I'm never going to get it for that. So I thought maybe just go 150 miles loaded, maybe just go 150, and I thought, oh, I'll knock a few quid off. So I went back in at 147. My old snooker maximum break one, which I seem to get quite a few jobs doing. So I banged in 147 out of hope more than anything. Yeah, and he rang me up and gave me a small van job. Because Poole, it's pretty much Bournemouth, like it's going to be vans around there. But anyway, got the job. So this evening I've had a good look around Portland, sort of close to where I tipped. Had a good look of it, looking west down the coast towards Cornwall and that. And then been for a Portland Bill itself by the lighthouse, so I'll put some clips on after this. And then where I am now is just checking out the east coast. Absolutely beautiful. You can make out over there, you got some white cliffs. I think I can see 3 cruise ships. Definitely more of a cruisy ship kind of port, this, rather than industry. But there is a lot of this down here. What I know Portland for is Portland cement. There's no such thing anymore. I think they're being bought out by another company and just rebranded or whatever. But yeah, this place is famous for lime and limestone. I think there's loads of limestone quarries. Had a bit of a mooch around an old one of them. There's still loads of it here. If you look on Google Maps of Portland itself, it's just, they're everywhere. But yeah, beautiful spot. I always want to come down here, bit out of the way. Glad I've got it done. I got a job out of here. Pencil mile's quite good today. It's not going to be great on the first job tomorrow. Only 178 for today, but late-ish start. Good experience this evening checking out Portland. So yeah, Monday is a good day. Here we are. This is high angle battery. Apparently there used to be massive guns here. You can see there, that's one where one of the guns would have been. There's a row of 6 of them there. Some really spooky tunnels you can actually walk in between, and tunnels going into the banks where all the armaments would have been kept. See over there, another quarry, and here the normal prison. You can see over here you got loads of off-gridders, particularly this guy here in the ex-ambulance drying his linen, his clothes on the tree. So yeah, seems to be a bit of a off-grid camper's paradise, this. Right, something that I don't do very often, a on the run update. Well, I'm actually on the run, moving along. So currently on the M40, heading home. It's not much better, is it? Anyway, you can see where I am. Yeah, with a job on board, which is good, so I'm going to be able to stay at home tonight and finish it off tomorrow morning. So back to this morning. I moved over to where the pickup was last night, parked up in a Tesco's. I just found on Google Maps. Realised when I got there, I've been to Tesco a few times before while I'm out and about, down Bournemouth way. Pretty sure I tramped there before, no parking restrictions, no limited parking. Picked up the small van job this morning. It's just 3 packs of false ceiling tiles, suspended ceiling tiles. It was a small van job, like I said, I was surprised to get it. It was 150 miles loaded. I went in at 147. Straightforward pickup, straightforward drop to a student accommodation place in Coventry, CV1, so central. Yeah, really straightforward, really, no traffic or anything, which is nice. From there, didn't have too long to wait for my next job, maybe half hour or so, three quarters of an hour. Had my lunch while I was looking at feed and bidding and stuff. Eventually got a job. It pinged up for the second time I'd seen it, and it was from not far from where I was, Atherstone, CV11 I think it is, but it's down to London, SE something, Crystal Palace area. It's kind of why I didn't go for the first time for. I don't really want to go to London and crossing sort of London, but it was 130 miles loaded. I was 14 miles from it. I thought, well, if I go in at £1 a mile or just over, including my getting there miles, you know, that's not so bad. It's worth a punt. So went in at 145. Yeah, got the job. That was picking up. When the job came through, it said like a marquee company, so I thought, oh bloody hell, it's going to be really long marquees. So I was a bit anxious about whether it's going to fit, you know, because there might, you know, that whole long wheelbase up to 4 metres. And I've never had an issue yet since I've had this van. But anyway, when I turned up, it was just 8 tiny little pieces of canvas that go on a marquee. Apparently they'd sent the wrong ones down with a big marquee. So I'm taking the correct ones down. Easily a small van job. Don't know why it's a long wheelbase job, but I say get out quite often. Straightforward pickup. Bit out of the sticks this pickup, like big. Basically, it's on a farm. I think the business was originally a farm. There's the outbuildings, and I think farmers. If you're a farmer, you've got loads of land. If you want to go into doing stuff, you know, big advantage. You need a big premises or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, so picked that up, started heading down there. On the way down, well, I'll just go through the job first. So pretty straightforward, all the way down motorway, M40 into London, actually down the M25, M4 turns to the A4. But what got me was like straight running down there, motorway mainly. The last 11 miles took me 11 an hour. And that was with the traffic, didn't seem that bad today, to be honest. Past London for you. Went over the Battersea Bridge, past Clapham Common. It's quite an instant drop of this. Apparently there's a festival this weekend in Crystal Palace grounds, the actual where the Crystal Palace building used to be. Never been there before. But you can see in Google Maps where the old house would have been. If anyone knows it, the terraces from the grand old house, that would have been in front of the grand old house, it's still there, so I had a bit of a look around that. Because it's a big park, I was let in by some security guards and I was escorted to the festival area. I had to follow him in one of these golfing buggies. They obviously do that to make sure people don't go too fast or whatever, because they're not actually roads driving on, they're like access place things and paths and whatever. Yeah, anyway, got tipped. They were a bit initially like, oh yeah, has he done his induction and all this rubbish? And I was like, I've literally only got like a few pieces of canvas. So what I always do in that situation, just when it's a small load and they're going on about, you know, I can't remember what they call it, it wasn't induction, it was something else. I was like, do I need that? It's literally just these lot. And they were like, oh no, don't bother, just take them off, check them on a pallet, empty pallet, and we'll take them from there. So that's what happened. On the way down, the shipper actually phoned me and says, are you interested in a backload job, bringing back the wrong ones that were sent down previously? So, you know, basically drop them off, get loaded with the wrong ones that were sent, go straight back to where you picked up. I was on the M40 at this point, hands-free of course, and she says, oh well, I'll give you a minute if you want to call back and if you want to work out your price. And I'm like, well, I can't really, but stop them on the motorway. For some reason I had it in my head it was 150 miles loaded, but it wasn't, it was 130, so I thought 150 miles, I thought I'll do it for 130 quid, so that's what I said to her. She goes, oh yeah, that's fine, blah blah blah, and I says, oh right, okay, you send it through as a separate job? She says, yeah, I can do that. End the conversation, so I thought I'd got it, but the confirmation didn't come through. Still driving on the M40. Phone goes again, it says, oh yeah, don't worry about the collection, we've managed to get it, basically got a cheaper price. I kind of shot myself in the foot here because it wasn't 150 miles, it was 130 miles loaded. So really I could have done that for 110. So I could have said, ideally, kind of regretted not saying 110. I might have got a job then, because she did say, oh, we've managed to get it a bit cheaper. But then she did say to me, I'd got it, kind of. Yeah, she said, yeah, I can do that. So, I don't know. So I was a bit slightly miffed about that, a bit disappointing kind of thing. A bit annoyed myself because I'd got the mileage wrong and worked it out. But part of me thinks that I might not have got it at 110 anyway. Because she did say you're interested in a back load, not return load. The problem is with, I find, On the CX there's two types of jobs, anyone's on it now. Hot shots, which for me are dedicated and direct, that's what they mean to me. And then there's what they call backload, which I'm not really sure about, because for me there's two types of jobs, there's dedicated and direct, and then there's co-loads. So co-loads have to be really, flexible timing, and then you can price cheap because you're going to do more or try and do more than one load in a job. What gets me is when, I don't know if it's a case of this shipper, but sometimes I think some shippers, they think you kind of do one job out at a hot shot rate, your normal hot shot rate, dedicated and direct on the CX, and then you're kind of going home, so you're going to do it for cost money or even just fuel money, which is fair enough. I think if you had your own customers going out and saying the long wheelbase you get 150 a mile because you're direct to customer, you can afford to do that maybe. I still wouldn't do it myself. I don't think you should do it, everything's right. If you're just doing one job going out at like subcontractor rates, which is what CX hot shots are, dedicated direct, you can't afford to come home just for costs. You need to be earning money both directions. So I don't know if it's one of them. I overpriced it, should have got it at 110, but might not have got it anyway. That did mean once I'd tipped, I had a bit of time to look at these terraces and have a bit of a stroll around the park while I was watching a few eating bidding. Not having a very good day today because the job pinged up. Well, it's actually an exceptional day in terms of earnings, but I've cocked up a few times. One was that thing with overbidding, and then this job I'm on now, SC11, it popped up. I said I was 25 minutes from it to go to Oldham, long wheelbase, picking up ASAP and delivering by 9 tomorrow morning. I think they open at 9, according to their website, Google Maps. And I bid this quite keen. I put it in, loaded on and loaded at 85 pence a mile, and I wasn't far from it. It came out at 190. So I knocked a few quid off, went in at 187, got the job, and then I realised once I'd got it and the job came through, it's in the ULEZ zone. So first time I've done that. So I don't have to pay the emissions bit, the £12.50, but I do have to pay the £15 congestion charge, which everyone has to pay. So that's knocked 15 quid off the job. But I'm not too bothered actually, because I made good money going down there. I made like 21 quid over my standard rate going down there. So 15 quid means I'm still kind of above the rate for the day, including this one. So I'm going to stop off at home. I'm going to get home about 8:30. My brother's cooking tonight. I just got to do the washing up, so I'll have a meal waiting for me when I get in, which is why I'm filming this, because I don't want to sit outside of that house. Filming when I come inside eating my dinner. Tea you should say. So I don't yeah, so earnings wise, I'm going to count this job as part of today, all of it, because I'm tipping tomorrow at 9 or hopefully just before. So that's my cut off if I do an overnight job. I tip it by 9, I count it as the previous day job. If it's after 9, I count it as split between the two. So this morning's job was 147, dropped down to London 145, and this one is 187. So that's going to be my best earnings day. In my sort of cut-off criteria, like I just said. So you do the maths, or I'll do it in the summary, but that's a pretty good day. It's going to be just over 12 hours. No, it's going to be longer, obviously, because I'll be driving tomorrow. But today's going to be about 12 hours. Just over. Yeah, so that's Thursday. Oh, and this load's really odd. It's propped for a stage play, props or something. But it just looks like loads of children's classrooms, sort of things they put on the wall. Apparently this play is about, it's full of adults, but they play children. They must be at school or something, because yeah, stage play, props for a stage play, and it's like loads of it. So, you know, like posters with toilet bowls stuck to them and all that stuff, and all these frilly things and sunflowers and all this stuff. Anyway, so yeah, that's up there, one of the strangest loads I've ever had. Yeah, so that is the update for Wednesday. Can you see me? Right, making a bit of a habit of this now. 2 updates in a row. So yeah, as you can probably tell now, it's dark. It is Wednesday night, about 11:30. Quite a long day today. Done quite well today as well. Yeah, so finished that job off this morning. It said be there for 9, but when I googled them it said open at 9, so I got there 8:45, and yeah, they took it, so I was done by 9. So it was definitely yesterday's job, I counted that as. Went down the road to Sainsbury's, just these facilities and stuff. Bidding on jobs there, got a job at 10 o'clock. I was kind of thinking I'm doing alright. At that point I was kind of like a day ahead of schedule in terms of, or ahead of target in terms of earnings. So I thought, well, I could go for a long job, or I could do some more local jobs, or if I can get a job, immediate job for the right money. And a job picked up the second time, or at least the second time I saw it pick up. I was only 6 miles from it. Shipper do a fair bit of work for, pretty straightforward with paying and stuff, and they yeah, I was picking up in Oldham and going to Chester, delivering to Chester, and then coming back to Stockport. So like Stockport's really close to Oldham, 4 miles from the pickup, but they wanted, on a job they wanted us to do Chester one first, because that was the urgent one apparently. So anyway, got that job. It was 100 miles all in, sorry, 100 miles loaded. I was 6 miles from it. I went in at 120. So I thought I'm only going to do that kind of length job if it's kind of, you know, decent rate. That's why I got it. But then 120 quid, more, a fair bit more than £1 a mile, £1.20 per loaded mile, but 2 drops and not a massively long job, so it's kind of like on the money, I'd say. It should be, certainly now anyway. Yeah, so got that job, bit of a pain on this one. Turned up, I got the job just after 10. I was about 25 minutes from it, so I got there about 10:30, but it wasn't picking up till 11. So I took the opportunity to chase up a shipper, a late payer from, should have paid the 30th of July. They paid some of the invoices, but not all of them, so I rang them and said, asked what the hell's going on. Apparently they got an issue with their system, bank, and it should be sorted by the end of the month, end of the week. So we'll wait and see on that one. Went in a bit early. They started loading me at 5 to 10. I thought, oh great, getting a bit ahead of the game here. But it was rolls of vinyl flooring, 2 meters long, like wrapped in cardboard. They were 100 kilograms each, and there was 10 of them, so there's a ton. And a big spike on the forklift. They could only load one at a time. And the guy kept disappearing for like 5 minutes and then coming back with one, disappearing for 5 minutes, come back with one. So there must have been like the complete opposite end of the warehouse to where I was getting loaded, I think. And then there was just a box to go with it as well. Chester, quite a nice drop. It was delivering to one of the university buildings right next to the River Dee, where the weir is, if you know Chester, like real touristy area, beautiful city Chester, and reasonably well coming from North Wales. Just go to watch Chester races every now and then, the lads, and get absolutely smashed. That was a while ago now. Yeah, so got that one tipped, pretty straightforward there. Like 4 guys came down to manhandle them off the van, delivered 8 of the rolls there and half of what was in the box. And then the remaining 2 rolls, the second half of the box I had to go to a warehouse, a flooring supplier, warehousey place, but also the trade counter. And that was the company who'd ordered it basically, so they'd ordered a full pallet. Well, here you've got lights. Or they'd ordered 10 or whatever. That was kind of delivering to their customer and then taking a few to them as well. And they kept me waiting, annoyingly. So I'd already phoned the shipper and said I've been at a collection for an hour and 10 minutes. The first drop was probably like 20-25 minutes maybe, even though I had loads of help, and the second one was probably a full half hour. I've had it before where you turn up to deliver something and you say, oh yeah, I've got such and such, and they go, oh well, yeah, yeah, it might be a while, mate, it's up to you. What do you mean it's up to me? We've ordered something to be delivered. I don't say this, that's what I'm thinking. And then, well, I think in that situation they kind of think you're just like DHL or Yodel, and it's like, oh yeah, somebody will be able to help you, but you're going to have to wait a while, or if you want to get on to your next drop. And I explained to him everything I had in the van was for that drop, you know, I'm not a parcel delivery guy. And eventually he sorted something out and we got tipped. So I was kind of thinking, if they tipped me quickly the last one, I wouldn't bother phoning again about waiting at the pickup, because it kept me in a full half hour. I rang up and charged an extra tenner, so I got 130 for a job. But in terms of like pounds per hour, that was probably only just got it back up to like £25 an hour on the job, which is what you need to do really. I try and do anyway, minimum. Obviously the pence per mile was quite good. It was 106 miles and 130 quid. Tipped that, it's about 4 o'clock, so it did take a long time. And then I got a job, or just before 4 maybe. And I got a job at 4. It was a job that I'd pinged up a few times, but it was a small van job, Knutsford, which I was half an hour from, over to Lincoln. And it was one of these ones that needs to be picked up by 4:30, so I thought it was a short window there, so it's worth having a punt on. Quoted 107. I think 103 would have been 85 pence a mile, including getting there. So I went in at 107. He rang me up and said, "Can we call it 100?" I said, "I'll do it for 105." So he's getting 2 quid off what I quoted, and he was happy to pay that. So yeah, I got it 105. Knutsford, picked up 1 jiffy bag, and then a lovely drive over the Pennines. Quite nice weather that time of day, quite sunny over the beautiful part of the Pennines. Over to Lincoln, or near Lincoln, delivered to a potato packing place, a place called Branston, LN4, just outside Lincoln. Yeah, I just found somebody on site. The company I picked up from, one of their engineers' vans was on site. Apparently he wasn't on site, so I left it with somebody else. I think he needs to be there for the morning. Yeah, so that was that job, and then I had some chips. I mean, kind of flavoured tuna, which you tend to have with me chips these days, just so I'm getting a bit of protein. And there's no gluten or anything in a can of tuna. Can't really have fish and chips proper because of the batter. I thought that was that then, and then I got this job. It pinged up about 20 to 9, 25 to 9. It was picking up at 10. I'll put it on the screen. Mine's gone blank. Going to Rugby. And the shipper it was, I knew it's going to be something to do with one of the parcel companies, and I thought, do I do it or do I not? But then I was in Lincoln. Lincoln isn't the best area, so I could have tramped in Lincoln quite happily, doing well on the money so far this week, and the pence per mile is pretty good. But I thought, I'll just do it, and then it gets me back to sort of Rugby, Coventry kind of way, which is, you know, a prime area for the morning. Hopefully get it done for midnight, which isn't going to happen. I'll be lucky to get it done in bed for 1, to be honest. It has been a long day today. 70 miles loaded, I was 40 miles from it, so that's 110. So I went in at 105, which is just shy of £1 a mile, all miles. When I turned up, got my job details through. Yeah, sure enough, it's picking up from, you know, a big national retailer. They've got like shops in most high streets and big retail parks and stuff. Huge company, and it's taken to one of the parcel company's hubs in Rugby opposite Area 21. Turned up, to get the paperwork, turned up, told me which bay to go to, got there, and then there was 2 vans there, so I had a bit of a chat with them. One of them was loading, and the other one guy says, you go first, because you're booked in for 10, I'm not booked in until later, so you go ahead. He wasn't in any rush. So I said, are you sure? And he says, yeah, go on. So nipped in, it got loaded, but even so I was there an hour and a quarter. I'm not going to chase them for money just because I can't really be asked, and I'm getting £1.50 a mile loaded, so yeah, I'm going to make a fuss about that one. Hopefully they're quick enough this side. But I did have a chat with these 2 guys. They weren't on the CX, but they were working full time for the ship that I'm doing the job on the CX. One of the biggest ships on CX, and he was asking me, what I got for the job. I did tell him I normally shy away from that because it can cause issues, but he told me what he was on. He's on a flat rate on nights. This is a bit shocking, this really, to me. For a long wheelbase van, using a long wheelbase Sprinter, full 4 metres. He said he's on 84 pence a mile. And I think that's just loaded miles. I should have asked him, but I'm pretty sure that's it. And he says they pay 89 pence a mile during the day. So they pay slightly more during the day than they do during the night. So I can't understand why anyone would do that. Especially for them rates, it's absolutely piss poor. Yeah. But then this company, they are renowned for trying to, dictate the price, we'll pay this, we'll pay that, and it's normally low. Not always. I've had some decent jobs out of them, so you never can tell. Yeah, so that was a nice bit of interesting insight, I thought. So I'm going to get down there now, get this tipped. Heading south on the M1 just now. Just me, the pallet network trucks, parcel network trucks, a few supermarket trucks and stuff like that. That's pretty much what you get this time of night. And road closures and roadworks. Don't think I've got any of them, so that's alright. So yeah, that is up to the end of Wednesday, definitely Wednesday. Right, Thursday now, still on the run, but not updating and I'm driving. I've just put that and edited up to the Wednesday night now on the app I use to do the editing. Yeah, it's a bit noisy when I'm driving. A lot of clattering and stuff, so I'll try and avoid doing that in the future. I'll only do it when I'm in slow moving traffic, so there's not so much background noise. Yeah, so got to the other end, this parcel network hub, and got tipped really quickly, which was nice because I think basically they want the parcels because they need to get on the trucks, don't they, and go to various parts of the UK and possibly further afield. So anyway, I got tipped there really quickly. Tramped not far from there. I was tramped on a residential street. I didn't really properly suss it out on Google Maps or anything, this street. I just kind of like pulled up outside the parcel network, got the back sorted so I'm not faffing around outside someone's house in a residential area. So I'm all ready to go. Just cruised around this modern housing estate, saw a spot, thought that'll do, parked up straight in the back and go to sleep. Yeah, so I didn't get to sleep until just after 1. Set my alarm for 8 this morning thinking, well, 7 hours, that should be alright. Didn't sleep particularly well. This street was actually busier than I thought it was going to be in the morning. Loads of traffic going up and down it. Must be one of the main ones into this modern housing estate. So yeah, I had to put my earplugs in at some point. I think just before 7 I put my earplugs in. And then I vaguely remember my alarm going off at 8 o'clock. I vaguely remember turning it off, and then I woke up and it was gone 10. It was like 10 past 10. I thought, brilliant. Anyhow, I had well ahead on the earnings, so not exactly kicking myself about it too much. Need your sleep. And I've been a bit tired today. That's the problem with doing late jobs. But it did give me a bit of an insight into the sort of night trunking jobs from like RDC to RDC, and from big massive warehouse for retailers into the parcel network. Gave me a first glimpse of that. It was quite interesting. It's not for me. I wouldn't work nights unless the money was really good, to be honest, which it isn't. Just isn't. Anything to do with parcel networks, generally the money's crap. That's what I've learned. Yeah. So got that done this morning. I actually got a job really quick. So I got a job by 11. So within like 20 odd minutes, 25 minutes of looking. Where was that? I was picking up not far from where I was. It was a small van job. 125 miles loaded. I went at 117 and got it. And I wasn't all that far from it. Maybe 6 or 7 miles. That was picking up from like a warehousey type place and then going to an industrial estate business park in Liverpool Speak sort of area by the airport, and delivered to a pharmaceutical company, one that's getting a lot of press because they've got a vaccine for COVID out, so I'll say that much. Parked up outside there. The feed was reasonably busy, but I was kind of thinking Thursday night now. At that point I'd done my money for the week, or had I? Yeah, I think I'd pretty much done my money for the week, or very close. So I was thinking I would get a job going home this afternoon and work locally tomorrow, or try and get a job, because by that time in the afternoon a lot of jobs pinging up for the following day, and one did ping up going to Coventry from Liverpool, so I bid on that, £1 a mile, 117 miles from L3 to Coventry, somewhere CV, quite close to proper Coventry, and got it. That's picking up at 9 in the morning, so then I thought I'll try and get something local, but there hasn't been any alcohol jobs coming out today, which is a bit disappointing, because I thought I might do one of them, even though I'm pretty tired today because of yesterday and last night's poor kip. I thought I'll get one in if they come up. None of them came up, but in the end I did get it was a long wheelbase job from like north of the Runcorn Bridge to south of the Runcorn Bridge, 6 miles, and I was 7 miles from it. Long wheelbase, pick up within the next half hour. So I thought like my minimum charge is 40 quid for long wheelbase. I don't generally go below that, and I'm going to have to go over the bridge, because I'm going to have to go to the bridge on the job, and I'm going to have to go over the Merseyflow Bridge coming back. So that's £2 each way, £4. So really it's 36 quid I'm going to earn on the job. But the guy put on it pays £30, pays today and all this stuff. So I just bid 40 quid. He rings me up and says, oh yeah, I see you bid 40 quid. We put on job, pays 30 quid. And I says, yeah, 40 quid is my minimum charge, mate. Just letting you know I'm available. I'm literally 10 minutes away, blah, blah, blah. And he says to me, oh, the thing is, we've only got 30 quid on the job. I was thinking to myself, either that's just a lie in the tail or a massively under quoting. Because if you're going to bid on job, if you're going to direct to customer jobs and you're charging them 30 quid for even if it is 6 miles, a long wheelbase job, that is nowhere near enough. You're never going to be able to subcontract it out. So yeah, no, it's just, he kept saying, oh yeah, I've only got 30 quid, mate. And I'm like, well, 40 quid is literally my minimum, so yeah, can't help you with this one. Because you've got to be firm, because otherwise you don't want dictating the price when it's really low, because that's just too low, daft really. And you're not doing anyone any favours doing it for that little. So that was the end of that. Saw they reposted it several times over the next like half hour, and then he rings me up and says, oh yeah, if you're still available, if you can do it we'll do it for 40. You know, we'll have to make the 10 quid up the sales. And I was thinking, well, it's not my issue, that's just my price, what I can do it for. It's not an unreasonable price. I didn't say it to him, but yeah, I just got the job and did it. But when I went to pick up, I kind of realised probably what's happened here, because it was picking up from a retailer. I think it was their online sales going into a parcel network again. So maybe he did charge 30 quid for it, but normally, they'd get a van on it and they'd do like 4 or 5 of these, and then maybe do 4 or 5 after that, you know, like a van for like string several of these jobs together, so it's not just 30 quid for one job, because it's never going to work out like that. So anyway, yeah, really straightforward pickup and tip in the end. Yeah, so that kind of bumped the money up for the day, which was kind of good because I was only on 117 for the day, so that bumped it up to 157 for the day. Bumped up the pounds per mile. I don't like doing any less than £150 a day. I always think it's a really bit of a poor crap day if it's less than 150. Obviously want to earn more than that, but yeah, but I'd already done my money for the week anyway, kind of. So yeah, so that was Thursday. Spent this afternoon just catching up on some videos on YouTube and editing this video, because I like to do it through the week, but because I've been so busy, I've not actually managed to do any editing until Thursday night. Yeah, so that is up until the end of Thursday. Got this job lined up in the morning. That's going to get me near home, and I'm going to try and get one Coventry going closest to like Birmingham, Walsall way. But even if I call it a day there, it would have been a good week. But yeah, that's it so far. Right, late Friday afternoon now, at 4:30. I would have been home at 4:30, but I've gone down to the local Morrison's, get my shopping for the weekend. Yeah, so this morning, I had a decent night's sleep last night, but it did rain really hard in the night, sort of like later in the night, like just before I kind of got up, or a few hours before I got up, so that woke me up. Should have checked the weather and put my earplugs in, really, which I ended up doing in the end anyway, to get back to sleep. Tramped in some just residential street round the corner from my pickup. Yeah, went to the pickup in the morning, quite an interesting one this. It said in the notes, pallet 2 meters by like 1.1, with a lump of metal on it. And I thought, all right, maybe it's just a metal supplier or whatever. Turned up, it was actually like an engineering firm. I think they do a lot of, there's like in the office, there's like photos of big ships and cruise ships and stuff, so I think they do stuff for marine stuff. And then they went in the office. She told me to go around the corner in the sort of the workshop entrance, where I was picking it up. Walked in, and there is a big sort of cast metal bracket, and then it also had this big lump of metal on it, which is kind of like another part, which is called this trunnion apparently, and that was sat on it. And I just looked at it and I thought, that looks over a ton. So I said, what's the weight of it? And the job's booked in for a ton, can't take much more than that. In my van, they looked at my van and they said, well, I can take probably like 1150, really 1200 at a push, don't really like going that high. And they go, oh, have you got any more vans available? And I said to him, well, that's good for a van. There's no 3.5 ton van that can take much more than that. In the end, it turned out the second bit, a big lump of metal called a trunnion that was sat on it, shouldn't have been going with it. The office had booked the transport just for the bracket, but the engineers in the workshop, this bracket is cracked. It's a steel casting, and cast items you can't weld them easily. So I was taking it to Coventry to some specialist engineering welding place where they can obviously got the gear and processes to weld castings up. But the guys in the workshop thought it would be a good idea to put this trunnion on it because it would help hold it in alignment or something. So they just thought, oh yeah, just send that as well. But it's like obviously added a lot to the weight and it would have been too much for a van. So once he'd been to the office and says, oh yeah, we're taking the trunnion off, it's just a bracket. They chucked it on a pallet and loaded it on a van. No issues then. Don't know the exact weight of it, but I'd say just by the feel of it, I'd say maybe 800 kilograms. The bracket on its own, give or take 100 kilograms, because you kind of get a feel of the van and the braking and acceleration of how much weight you're carrying. Yeah, so yeah, that said I should have got down there about midday-ish, but by the time it got down it was more like 1:45. It's just Friday traffic, as it has been the last few months. Tipped it, really straightforward tip. So that was like 1 o'clock ish. I was tipped that. I thought I'd done pretty good money by then, and I worked out even if I drove home empty, it was like 27 miles. I still won, good money for the day and good pence per mile. So I sat around. I thought I'll sit around until 3 o'clock. If I don't get anything local, I just call it a day, call it a week, and go home. Bid on a few shortish jobs, alcohol jobs. Quite a few that come out of B6. I've never done one out of there. I don't think they go for a lot of money, even though it's alcohol. So yeah, I didn't get any of them. But then a job pinged up with a shipper. Done a few jobs for them lately. And it was another Coventry postcode, but further towards home. Picking up and going to Tamworth. And it was another parcel collection. I got it 45 quid. It was like only like 6 miles loaded, maybe 8 miles loaded, and I was like 12, so it was like 20 miles on the job. 45 quid. Rang me up, gave me it, no haggling. And I thought I was going to be delivering it to their place in Tamworth, which I've been through a fair few times, but it wasn't. It was to another transport company. So I picked up from like a retailer, online retailer, small unit, one of these units like on a farm with beautiful views. And you're thinking, if I had a unit, I'd want something like a unit like this, not in some manky industrial estate that's full of litter and stuff. This is like, you do get some quite nice like small industrial estates that are on farms. Where I dropped off was actually a similar kind of place. I've seen these guys' trucks around, logistics company, and I think what happens is they do sort of collections for parcel networks. Go there, they load them onto a trailer and then take the trailer into the depot, sort of thing. Presumably that's what's happened. So I've learned quite a lot this week about parcel networks, I think. Not a straightforward tip. So yeah, that's worked out really well this week, because by the time I'd done that tip I was then 11 miles from home, which is really good for a Friday. Done really well this week in terms of overall earnings, or takings should I say, and also the pence per mile has been pretty good, but that will come up in the summary, so just that to do over the weekend before I upload it. Right, late Saturday afternoon now, time for a very quick summary, because it's been quite a long vlog this, because it has been 5 days and quite a busy week. So yeah, full 5 days on the run. Managed to spend the one night at home, and then the rest was in the back of the van. So Monday was the one job 178, which yeah, but I kind of like knocked it on the head early because I wanted to spend the time around Portland, which I really enjoyed. That was a highlight of the week. Tuesday, 3 jobs, 147, 145 and 187, which is 479. But like I say, that I did finish the last job the following day, but I tipped it by 9, so I count that as the previous day. Wednesday, another good day, 130, 105 and 105, which is 340 for the day. Thursday, 117 and 40, so 157 for the day, so a bit of a poor day. Friday, 117 and 45, 162, which is still, not a lot for the day, but on a Friday, just trying to get home, being pretty selective. I was quite happy with that, especially because I've done well so far early in the week. So a total came to 1,316 takings, like I say, not earnings, but takings, pre-cost and tax, which is so that's £263.20 a day. I did 1,398 miles from leaving the house on a Monday to getting back on a Friday afternoon. So the all miles, pence per mile, loaded and unloaded, is 94.1 pence a mile. Additional cost this week, I had a few more, so these aren't my standard costs. These are on top of that. I had £15 for going into the ULEZ zone, which means I had to pay the congestion charge. Don't have to pay the emissions back because my van's Euro 6. I went over the Mersey Flow Bridge, which is the Runcorn Bridge. Any of them 2 Runcorn bridges, £2 each time, and I went over it twice. So that's £4, so £19 of additional costs. So after my costs, well, after the VAT bonus I get, part of the VAT I get to keep because I'm on the flat rate scheme, and then take away my normal costs, which I've gone through before. I won't just make it bring the minus my additional cost of £19, leaves me at £880 for the week. So that's my pre-tax, and it's £175 a day. So 880 divided by 5 is 175 a day. So that's pretty good. That's really up there on my earnings. Real solid week. Like I say, highlight was Portland. That was I always wanted to go down there. I used to look at the map when I'm down that part of the world and see this bit sticking out. And I thought, oh, where's that? It's Portland. I looked into it. Thought, oh, I really want to go down there and check it out. And it was good. Chesil Beach, yeah, lovely. Good earnings week. Bit of an insight. I did that one late evening into the night, which gave me a glimpse of the night trunking work for parcel networks and stuff, which isn't for me. Yeah, so that's it for the week. As ever, any comments, put them below. Any tips from me or anyone else who watches this, anything you'd like my opinion on. Not that I've been doing this a great deal of time, but always offer my advice. I try and get to all the comments. It's just reminding me I still need to go check in the last week's, and I think there's a comment from the previous week's. Yeah, so that's it. The only downside of the week, this morning through the post box came a PCN, penalty charge notice. So when I saw it, I thought, right, I've parked somewhere I shouldn't have done, or stayed there over the 3 hours or whatever in a car park. But no, it wasn't. It was from the 3rd, which was the Tuesday, I believe, when I was in London. I drove through something I didn't know exists. I think they might just exist in London. If you know any different, let me know. It's a low traffic neighbourhood, LTN. Apparently I drove down a road which is only supposed to be used by bikes, taxis and buses. I didn't see any signs. I googled it when I got it, and it's in Dulwich Village area, and the council there have apparently raking it in from setting these things up, and there's a few others around London, but I might do a separate video about them, I think, because I think it's a bit of an unknown. So I won't go in too much, but if I pay it early, it's going to be 65. If I don't pay it early, it's 130. That's the standard charge. So I'm going to ring them on Monday and try and see what they say, but I think I'm just going to have to pay 65 quid and take it on the chin, but a bit under miffed about that. But anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Cheers.